Patrick Bet-David is the founder of Valuetainment. All right, so the Mamdani-Trump meeting. How do you think that went down?
First of all, it's great to be on with you. I thought it went great. I thought Mamdani is standing next to a pro, sizing him up, thinking to himself, what is wrong with this guy? He allowed me to diss him in front of everybody. He's so comfortable with it. He's probably sitting there saying, what is he trying to get out of this? And by the way, imagine how the conversation went behind closed doors. What do you think the president told him? I don't know. I'm just speculating. Maybe saying, listen, we'd love to make this work with you. If you want to get these things done, we'll help you. If you want to play these games, go do your thing. But don't forget, you're going to need us. You know, obviously the president went knowing what he's doing. The last time a Mamdani type of person came in and he lost, Clinton asked him to step out. That was Bernie Sanders. And a moment Bernie Sanders lost, Hillary came in, Trump got on TV and he said, look what they did to your candidate. Do you like what they did to the candidate? Establishment came and took away. You wanted Bernie Sanders as your candidate. You wanted this person to be your, person to run as president. But Hillary said, no, step aside. You're not good enough to run for president. It's me. I am the person that's going to be president. And then those people flock to him, the Bernie Sanders vote. It's a very weird thing that he has both sides. So I think the Mamdani voters, the Bernie Sanders voters, the AOC voters are watching how he's being gentle with Mamdani now that he's in. And if good things end up happening, they may be looking back saying, look, I hate to say this, but I kind of like President Trump. I think he's going to end up winning at the end of the day here.
Yeah, right. It's like a soft recruitment, just in case you want to keep all options on the table. The seditious six, they're calling them, PBD, it's not going well. They can't answer a straightforward question by the media. And the media is skeptical of these people. And now a senator could be under investigation by the military justice system. Do you think they realized what they were getting themselves into?
I think normally they think they can get away with comments like this until they face a guy named President Donald Trump who sued and won money against George Stephanopoulos, YouTube, Twitter. How many other companies you want me to talk about that? He won so many different lawsuits about to go after BBC. They don't realize they're going after somebody that's probably going to hold them accountable. And Mark Kelly, obviously, thank you for his service. He wrote a long tweet today. It's very obvious he's writing the tweet in response to say, here's my resume. I'm sorry I said this. Don't come after me. I'm a very important patriot. I love America. And on the other side, Hexet is like, you already crossed the line with the comments here. Just go read history with what happens with this. They crossed the line, and I highly doubt this administration is going to let this one go.
So how silly does it look if you have Trump meeting with Mamdani, who's the exact opposite of him, and then you have former military guys out there in office trying to foment an insurrection within the ranks? I mean, it really kind of divides the Democrat Party. I mean, the communists usually look crazy, and now the establishment looks crazy.
But this is their pattern. So you're sitting there having a civil conversation with somebody, and you're debating. The moment you win the debate, the name calling comes. In this side, the moment they see progress and results happening, it's Russia collusion, it's another hoax, it's, what happened with the comment he made about there's good sides, people on good side, both sides, it's no kings. They want to target him, they want to keep coming after him. The reality of it is they have to talk about issues. And by the way, to be honest with you, I actually think Mamdani did. He talked about affordability, and the younger audience saw what was happening with it. We can sit here as conservatives watching this saying, oh my God, it's going to be great. 2026, 2028, I'm looking at some of the numbers. It looks like Thanksgiving is going to be slightly cheaper than last year, which is great. Even the price of turkey is slightly lower than it was last year. These are good things to see. If the Republicans focus on delivering their promises on inflation, delivering their promises on the border, which they have, delivering the promises on making America safe again, delivering the promises on, making affordability. They got that last one. I have a feeling if President Trump and his team finalizes a way to get the affordability part done, I feel bad for the other side. They're going to have to come up with the next gimmick. No kings. I don't know what they're going to be doing. If they pull that off, and there's a victory where a Rubio or a JD is involved in that affordability, then you have your replacement that's going to be the president in 2028. But this has to be very methodical. I'm sure they're thinking about it.
Yeah.
I'm just a person giving my opinions.
because
I'm sure they're already doing this.
You don't want to be J.D. Vance in 2.5 years saying things are not affordable. We need to do better because Trump's not going to tolerate it. You thought Biden was tough on Kamala. Trump will not tolerate J.D. saying that there's like a lot of work to be done.
No, he's a driver. President Trump is a boss. He's a driver. I relate to it. It's very hard to work for a person like that when you're not performing. Very easy to work for somebody like that when you're performing. But when you are performing, don't get too casual because on any given day, he can wake up, hold an emergency conference call at 1 o'clock saying, guys, what the hell are we doing?
That's right. All right, PBD. Happy Thanksgiving. Good to see you as always.
To you as well.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.